It's time to wake up.
Welcome to Ask the Guru. I'm J-Rob, the Guru of Peace, also known as the OG of protein. Been doing this a long time, and I'm happy to be here answering your questions. Anyway, here we go. Let's get started out. Now, this is interesting because this wasn't something that you asked me. This is something of a question I have that I'm going to ask myself and you at the same time. My question is this: what has happened to the fitness clubs in America over the years? I've seen them evolve and change radically. And they're not the same as they were back in the day. And I don't want to sit here and make you think like, oh, this guy, he's been around the block a long time. He's been in this a long time. He's just living in the past. I'm not living in the past. I just have experienced what gyms were like back in the day and what gyms are like now. And there's a huge difference. And some of that difference is positive and some of it's negative, if you will go into those two directions. Some of the things are great and other things are not so great. So let me just say, back in the day, let me just set the scene here for you. Back in the day, in the 60s, when I first got my weight set, 1966, I was 13, got my first weight set, there really weren't any gyms around. There might have been a few YMCAs, and they were really small, dark places. Most people had to train at home with their own weight set back in the early days, 50s, 60s, and even part of the 70s and so on. So I got a weight set. We're really into gyms. I had to make a home gym. The home gym was, my house. So there you go. I had that set up. But there were a few gyms back then. There were still like Gold's Gym in the 60s, in Venice. And others along those lines. There was Vince Gironda out in the valley and so on, but there weren't a lot of other gyms. So I trained at home, I really wasn't ready for any of that. But I really didn't train that hard until the 70s. Arnold Schwarzenegger came onto the scene. He came to Southern California in 68, and then he started making a name for himself by 1970, 71, 72, 73. Then he started winning the Olympia and so on. And with his entrance into the world, not many people knew about him, but the gyms began to grow, and there were a few more popping up here and there. But it wasn't until 77, I think that was the year that Pumping Iron was made and was released, that it kind of became more of a big deal in America, that you could actually imagine lifting weights to get big muscles for guys. This was almost entirely for men. And he was huge for the day, back in the day. And so he trained at Gold's Gym, and then there weren't a whole lot of gyms. But anyway, that movie that came out showed him training at Gold's Gym. That movie showed him competing in something that people didn't even know about, bodybuilding shows. So he kind of put bodybuilding and fitness on the map, mostly bodybuilding. And when I saw that, I was already training with weights. I was already, doing everything I could to build muscle. When I saw that, it just set me on fire. So it set me on fire, and then within 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it started setting America on fire, and a few more gyms popped up. I actually opened my first fitness club in 1980, Jay's Gym. It was a small club. I built my own equipment. Again, there were not a lot of clubs back then. You had to kind of improvise and do what you could. But what I created was a different atmosphere. I had just come from a gym, and I won't mention any names or anything like that, and the gym owner was a heavy steroid pusher. He used them heavily, and he basically wanted everybody to use them. Why? Because they work. Steroids work. The difference between the people using steroids and people not using steroids was incredible. So he pushed the steroids. I tried the steroids. They made me feel horrible after. I just did a six-week experiment, blew up like a balloon. I said, this stuff's incredible. Then at the end, I didn't feel good at all. So I said, you know what? I don't really want this or any of this. It doesn't seem natural. But he kept pushing him anyway. There was an aggression at this gym. The people on steroids, they were almost like angry. There was some rage. It was a whole different feeling than me training at home with my weights or with my buddy. We were happy and we were doing whatever. So I opened up my own gym, Jay's Gym, and created a gym atmosphere that was friendly, that was happy. I acknowledged my my members. They would join. I would know their name. I would call them by name when they came into the club. I would help them any way I could, for free. I wasn't personally training them for a fee or anything. I would train them. I'd show them whatever to do. I was happy to be a part of the bodybuilding world. And that was the atmosphere. We were all there to help each other. I started some of the first drug-tested, all-natural bodybuilding competitions back then. Why? Because I was, back then, I mean, this was 1980, I was already sick of steroids, and people didn't even know what they were, and I was like done with them. People are aggressive. It makes men crazy sometimes if you're not careful. So I created a gym that was friendly and happy and natural, and I said, be careful of steroids, don't do that, push the shows, and created an atmosphere that's completely different than the other atmospheres a lot of times at gyms. And that kind of still spilled over. Smaller gyms, there was a kind of a camaraderie. So the small gyms cropped up. Over time, there became the bigger clubs, and Nautilus Fitness and so on. And in Southern California, they grew more, and Family Fitness down in the San Diego area, and all these things were taking place and happening. And as people were herded in, what happened was, they would oversell the club, and we get lower dues, and we don't care, we get a lot of people in, and so you couldn't get a personal touch anymore. So what I've seen is the personal camaraderie of bodybuilding and fitness kind of go out the window since, back in the mid-70s all the way through to today. So what has really taken place is it's become a big business instead of like a mom and pop place to go that you can kind of be, it's like a Cheers. Back in the day, it was like a Cheers, everybody knows your name at the gym. You train, you help each other. If you're getting ready for a show, people are rooting you on. It's a whole different contest and atmosphere. People were there to actually get shredded, to actually lose body fat and gain muscle, and they were there to learn from each other, and we helped each other. Now, most clubs you go in, I mean, it's rare that anybody even talks to me. I meet a few people here and there, people that may know me or remember me. Oh yeah, you're J. Rob, or you're this, or you're that. I use your protein, whatever it is. I remember you from TV. Whatever it is, that's few and far between. And I'm more of a known celebrity. But everybody keeps to themselves. They put their earbuds in, so you really can't even talk to them. Are you using this machine? They go, what? We never did any of that back in the day. Everybody's got their water bottle now. We just had a little drinking fountain. We didn't, do any of these things. We talked to each other. Hey, looking good today. What are you doing today? You doing arms today? Arms are growing. Are they, what's your new diet? Got any new diet tips? Any new twist? Any whatever? Yeah, you're changing. You're not. It looks like, hey, have you tried this thing here? We were there to help each other, and none of that exists anymore, and I kind of miss it. There's not a lot of small clubs. They're mostly bigger, larger clubs. I guess that's what weeds out the smaller clubs. It's how Walmart took over the industry, and Home Depot took over the industry of hardware and home goods, those two. And the smaller, more caring places have just gone. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, I miss the old days and things were so good back then. I don't really feel that way. What I feel like is, why doesn't the old school days of caring and talking to each other exist now? Now I'm at the gym, and I swear half the people are on their phone texting between sets. There's no way you could even talk to them. I don't even feel like they're in the gym. And if this is what you do, I'm not ragging on you. I really am not. If that's how you want to work out, and you like being on your phone a lot, and texting and doing whatever you do, or listening to music through it, that's your own personal thing. This is about me and how I feel about the fitness world and what's happened to our world of bodybuilding and fitness. People aren't really in there to improve and help each other. So I miss the camaraderie. I miss being able to talk to everybody. I miss getting to, you walk in here, I'd like to know everybody. I don't care if there's 100 people in the club. I really don't give an F. I want to know each one of you people. I want to know, what's going on. Can I learn from you? Can you learn from me? What are we doing in here? Get off your phone and let's just become a brother and sisterhood again. Why not? That's probably my appeal to the world and the fitness world. Let's just put down our earbuds. Let's put down our phone. Leave them in your gym bag. Let's talk to each other. Who are you? How are you? What's going on in your life? You know, and let's spot each other. You know, people would be struggling, somebody would spot you. They'd help you. They'd hand you dumbbells because we'd work together. We'd work as a team. That teamwork is gone. So anyway, I'm appealing to everybody out there. Anybody getting this, spread the word. If you feel that way, let me know in the comments today, please. If you feel this way at all. And again, if you prefer being an isolated person in the club and being on your phone, I'm okay with that. I just miss the old days. I know the difference between that and what is going on now. So please leave something in a comment if you have that. If you have any other questions or any other things you want to say, please do it. Also like the page and do subscribe. And thank you for listening. I hope I didn't sound like I was on a platform, a soapbox, you know, ranting and raving, but I do miss the days where people connected. I miss it even in our society today, and at gyms especially. So let me know how you feel on that. Anyway, love you out there. Thank you again for listening, and do hang loose for me.
Hang loose. Get the chill on, hang loose.